Hi, this is Baby from MiddieBuzz.com. I'm here at the Copa Lounge, located in the Knights Inn at 17K in Newburgh. And actually, we're in the middle of a blackout party that Top Shelf DJs put together here. And I'm here with the founder, Tito Love. How you doing, baby?
Good.
Good. Let me know, how did you start, becoming a DJ? What sparked your interest?
Back in '94, sparked my interest. I've always been around music my whole life. Because my uncle, I grew up with him. He's the owner of DMU Music.
Okay.
He's had the business since the '80s. He's been a DJ since forever, and that's when I started DJing back in '94. And DMU, he was definitely one of my bigger influences. DJ Ravi. He gave me my name, Tito Love. He actually influenced me a lot too. Nasty Nell, DJ Nasty Nell, another well-known DJ. And pretty much since '94, I would just mess around with it a little bit, but I got serious about it in '98 when I graduated high school. That's when I started my actual first club.
Where was that at?
It's called Dry Dock now, but it used to be 90 Broadway back then. I started off the college nights there, with the Wednesday night college nights, which were very famous back then.
Now, was it at that Latin tip also, or was
No. My first Latin club, real Latin club, like I used to DJ at the Villas, Sunny Acres, back in '98. But my first real Latin club was Deviate, which was in Wappingers. I started there in '99, in the fall of '99. I was there until the summer of 2000.
Okay. So, because pretty much you kind of branched out from that one little venue until now.
Yeah, well, for a long time, up until I would say 2006, I was doing some nights hip-hop, full hip-hop, some nights full Latin. And after 06, I just converted totally over to Latin. I mean, I do everything too, but that's my main focus, is the Latino market.
Now, when you converted to the Latino market, how did it differ when it comes to like the people that came out?
Well, it's a different audience. It's definitely a different crowd. Now, it seems like back then when I was first doing it, the crowd was different. Now, the Latinos are more Americanized. Mm-hmm. You could get away with playing a lot more house music. You can get away with playing a lot more hip hop at these parties. But they still love their bachata. They still love their merengue, salsa, reggaeton, and so forth.
Now, what equipment did you start off with?
Technique 1200s. That's how I learned.
Okay, and what do you have now?
CDJs.
CDJs.
Yes, Pioneer CDJs. And Rain TTM 57, Serato.
Serato
all the way.
Serato, I'm telling you.
Serato all the way. Everything else.
Right, if you're a DJ and you don't have Serato, you're not a DJ pretty much.
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of DJs. A lot of DJs get the job done with their program or their preference. Me personally, all my DJs for my crew, Top Shelf DJs, are all Serato DJs.
So how do you feel when you make the conversion pretty much to?
When I went from like CDs to, it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. It takes getting used to. The good thing is that you're still operating everything the same way. You know what I mean? Like, you're still hands-on with your equipment, whether it's vinyl, whether it's CDJs, whatever. You're still hands-on. You're just reading everything off a laptop.
Now, I know some DJs use PC and some DJs use Mac. Mac all the way?
Mac all the way. No comparison.
But less freeze?
It's just, Mac runs it so much smoother. And then there's also a lot of the DJs that don't develop their ear because of Serato. I'm telling you, there would be a lot less DJs if there wasn't Serato. That too.
That's what I heard.
Yes.
Like a click of a button, and people
not so much a click of a button, but it's easy to just look at the waveform. Me, I had to learn
by ear.
I didn't have something to look at. I learned how to mix smoothly by ear.
And that's weird because, like you said, you worked with CDs. I remember back. Yeah, I'm dating myself. I remember back in the day when they used vinyl and regular turntables, and they literally, by eye, they had to look. There's like a little timer thing, and they would have to look
on the groove. You could tell where the drops were on the groove, certain. And like a lot of DJs that know me from back then, they know when I played hip hop back then, I did use vinyl. But since I did so much Latin too, I also had my CDs. So it was a lot more convenient for me to just convert completely to CDs back then. but I still got down with the vinyl too.
But I think that also helps, develop, because your count in your head, as you're listening, you have a better ear, you can do the count in your head. You're not pretty much like a Serato, if it says, 120 beats per minute, and this was 120 beats per minute, okay, let me just sync it up.
Yeah, see, a lot of people get that wrong misconception. You can't go by the computer. The computer isn't accurate as your ear.
Yeah, you know what, that's true, because you can have something that's 140 beats per minute, but it's really 70.
Well,
and it's a whole different story. But I'm saying it's a whole different. If they don't even know the song, and they say, "Okay, yeah, let me dump this," and all of a sudden,
or they might think,
slow jam.
or they might think like, "Oh, well, something that's 70, I can't mix to 140." But it's because you're looking at the numbers.
Exactly.
You're looking at the numbers, then you're looking at the waveform. You're not really developing your ear, and anybody could put together two songs. Especially nowadays. The beauty of it is learning how one chorus ends, another one begins, and doing it smoothly so that people don't even notice it.
Right, they just think it's one big song.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Now, I know you're the founder of Top Shelf DJs. How did that come about for you?
I started Top Shelf. I started with my partner now. He's the CEO of Empire Productions. He's been doing the Latino party since '97, since before me and him were working together. We started working together, I would say, in 2001, and I always did my own thing. He did his own thing. We would link up. I would just DJ his parties. Up until I would say '08, I've always wanted my own crew of DJs.
Right.
And I'm sorry, '07, I started with Middie and another DJ, my DJ C. He's actually stationed in California right now in the Army. I started the whole concept of Top Shelf, the name and everything, and those are my first two DJs that come along.
Now, how many do you have in total?
Now there's 7.
There's 7. So the ones I know of, that's Kaz, Middie, Fuego, you.
Yes, and there's Double O, Willie R, and DJ C.
Okay, now we know what DJ C is, and what were the other two?
Double O is based out of Rockland. He's in Haverstraw.
Okay.
I DJ with him pretty regularly down in Nyack when I DJ down there. He's very well known in that area.
Now, how does it change the dynamic? Because when you start off as a DJ, you're starting off pretty much solo. And I see this, and there's actually a couple of other DJ kind of crews that they do this, like tonight at the Black Belt party, that you have 4 you guys, and you're going in sync, and one guy's throwing his flow until a certain point, and then the next person comes in. It's different than when you're DJing 4 hours straight.
Yeah.
So do you feel that it's a lot easier for you?
Of course. You could focus a lot more energy when you see a lot of old school promoters and stuff. They don't really get the concept of why you need 2 DJs a night, 3 DJs a night. A DJ, the average person doesn't think that a DJ gets tired. You put a lot of energy into making sure that party is jumping. You know what I mean? And when you do 2, 3 parties a night, like I've done 2 different clubs a night, and it's like by the time I get home, I'm like, whew.
And it's just
because you got to make sure that when you're there, you're hitting them, and then you go to the next club, you got to take that same energy there, hitting them.
And then sometimes I think, you got 4 hours. That means 4 hours of creativity going over each and every time, and trying to keep it fresh.
Yeah, that's the wrong thing that everyone runs into. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Everyone does it. Is they get comfortable with a set and they kind of follow it. You know what I mean? So that's the whole key of knowing your music. Is because like I'll play, like for instance, I'll play some reggaetons. I'll play some new ones and I'll switch it up and throw a classic here and there.
Right.
Like a throwback.
Right.
So that people are like, oh yeah.
Have you ever, in the early stages of it, have you ever got to a situation where you're DJing and all of a sudden you get like, I don't know, a brain fart?
Of course. I think every DJ's run into that.
Okay. Like you start over and then, or if not, you have a certain flow and somebody interrupts you and then,
well, interruptions, not so much. I pretty much, I'm playing a song and I'm 2 songs ahead already.
Now, what's the strangest request from a person
at a club?
A song, yeah.
You know what? 2 different ones. when I used to do college nights, I used to get people asking me for like the electric slide at a college night or the chicken dance. I thought they were fucking with me. They were serious. Yep.
Oh, you can imagine that. You're in the middle of the club and all of a sudden the chicken dance gets played.
Or like the Latino parties, un bolero. Why would I play un bolero? Or some of the other parties where there's like Mexicans, una ranchera. Why? This is a party. This is a dance party. This is no una barra. You know, and there's a big difference between, you know, what you would play for certain clientele too, especially with the Latinos. Like, you know, you have your Caribbeans, you know, your Puerto Rican, Cuban, Dominicans. You got your Central Americans. You got your South Americans. You have your Mexicans, and they all kind of listen to, when it comes to clubs, they all kind of listen to the same music. Right. You know, they all rock to bachata, merengue, reggaeton, some salsa, some not. But then you have, like, say, los Mexicanos and some Central Americans that they like the Mexican music, the duranguense, the cumbias. You have South Americans that like all that stuff too. Like they have their own cumbias, and there's differences between those. Yeah.
And they think it's so easy, and it's not.
No, I know, because the Colombians have cumbia. That sounds almost like salsa. And then they have vallenato too. But then the Mexicans have cumbia that sounds nothing like Colombian cumbia. They call it sonidera cumbia. It's different. And then like the Peruvians have their own cumbia. Like, it's crazy.
Oh my God. Thank God I can't teach it like that. I would lose my mind.
Sometimes you have to cater to all that, you know.
Now, coming in July, you got some gigs coming up?
Yes. Looking to do a phone party on July 23rd. We're looking to do it here, hopefully weather permitting, that we could do it outside.
So that we can hose it down at the end of the night?
Yeah, well, everyone's going to be soaking wet, so. But that should be fun. That should be interesting. We did phone parties back in the day, and it was more, you know, the college nights. That hasn't been done for like a Latino crowd up here.
No, it hasn't. I know there were a couple of ones that were done in Middletown, but no. This will be a first.
For the Latinos, yes.
It's a first. Yeah. Now, let my members know exactly where they can find you at, other than when you create your profile at Middie Buzz.
You can find me at Facebook, facebook.com/DJ Tito LUV. Love. You can find me www.djtitolove.com, twitter.com/DJ Tito Love. You could find me on GoLatin.net. That's one of my affiliates. He made that DJ Boy. He's one of our guys from Albany. He's part of Empire Productions. So like we're like Empire. That's why I didn't get to Empire and Top Shelf. We're like two different companies, but we're all under one.
So you
know, like I'm the VP of Empire.
So you pretty much that you work in harmony. You work together, coincide. Okay. So Tito, thank you so much, because I know I'm taking you away from this kick-ass party.
I gotta go DJ.
I know, I love you. If you want to find out more about Tito Love, again, he's going to have his information, all those contacts, Twitter, Facebook, or everything else under his profile on MiddieBuzz.com. So if you want to find out what the buzz is about, please visit www.middiebuzz.com. Signing off.